What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology retold action, retelling the tales of yesteryear, the glory days, and all the other stuff. In the right-hand corner of the map, in the blue color, playing as the fearsome Ra. He's from the Aces team, and his name is the Rapple. His opponent today, none other than only the second most attractive Age of Mythology top 10 player. He goes by the name Keto, but we know him better as Keto Jody Severobones Jones. Still waiting for him to make that account that's called Jones. But anyways, it's a Shenong versus Ra affair here. And we'll see what these guys are going to get up to. In the bottom of the map, we've got Archimedes' Ledger. This one's going to be an incredibly overpowered, I can't stress this enough, relic for China. Anyone out there, right? Anyone out there who thinks, man, the siege weapons for China, they're just not that good. You know, part of me agrees with you. However, they only cost 3 pop. Those crossbows, those siege crossbows, 3 pop. If I take that 3 down to 2, all of a sudden, now I've got a archer. The DPS is insane. The range is insane. The damage and all output is ridiculous. I already said that already with DPS, but the damage output is ridiculous, and it is a must grab. How does 2 beat 3? Exactly. Yeah. So if you're playing exactly, Admiral Teddy Bear in the chat says siege crossbow and ballista are broken with Archimedes' Ledger, and that's the truth. If you're Norse or you're China, that is the relic for you. Now it's also not terrible for Greek. It's probably not that good for Egyptian. It's kind of useless for Atlantean, but nonetheless, it's good for those 2 civs. So very, very strong. Nonetheless, Keto's getting his temple up. Going to be going for a somewhat delayed advance time. We were seeing the Chinese players early on when China released. They were all very, very happily going for fast advances into pioneer harassment, but that seems to have fallen out of favor, as that sort of stuff does seem to do when players get a little bit more used to it. They go, hang on, what if we just don't panic and then we deal with it? And that's what players do, and they've done well to sort of get over that pressure, that damage, and we're going to start seeing more and more greedy Chinese builds. But that being said, even with potential greedy Chinese builds, you're still going to be advancing pretty quickly here. You can already see it's still going to be a 3:45 advance time for Keto. And Rapple, on the other hand, says, well, it's time for some dart action. He's got a nice back gold. He's got nice back chickens here. He's finishing up on those giraffes over on that side. He's got a lot of villagers on wood, actually, here, as it looks like his plan is to go into a classical fight and make some slingers here. The Pioneers did get double nerf, which is kind of why they fell out of fashion with the early game. But still, it's possible to do like a 3-minute advance time and be in your opponent's base causing problems. But look, guys, it would have fallen out of fashion anyways, I promise. The reason they were nerfed was not because of the early pressure. It's because of a certain divine damage add-on for a certain Fushi god. Anyways, immediately grabbing all of those Quaofu out. You can see this one thing that Keto does here. In spamming out the Quaofu, he's going to be actually auto-queuing it. So, and he's going to be going for what looks like to be a town center. As the Wajidito gets taken out, and the Chi-Yo Yatsu also falls. I'm surprised that that trades like that, to be honest. I would have expected the Yatsu to win that fight. Like, the way that... I love this here from Keto. The way that I see The way that I see like myth unit interactions with each other is effectively melee myth units. If there is no micro involved, they're both just sitting there firing at each other, the melee myth unit should win. And you guys tell me if you think that's like a fair statement or not. Reason is that range myth units can have stuff protecting them. They can deal damage without taking damage. So the melee myth units should all sort of win those fights, just as a general rule of thumb. And if they're not, then, you know, the stats aren't quite lined up correctly. That being said, the Yatsu is more of a raiding unit, so maybe it's its own special case. Maybe the similar thing with the Anubite as well. Costs to keep into consideration as well. There's a whole bunch of like random stuff you got to think about. But still, the general idea is like you got a 150 wood 15 favor. Wadjet probably should lose to the old Yatsu. But I don't know exactly what happened. I didn't watch the entire fight. Anyways, another relic on the top of the map, the Kui drum. Going to get left there for a little bit. It is pretty strong. It's actually really, really good with Son of Osiris. There is a little bit of shenanigans with the old Son of Osiris there. As Rappel is being incredibly greedy here, moving forward onto that gold mine. Wall's coming up to the top here. As the Cheongchi says, what's going on, guys? I am flying. I'm on an adventure. This guy is so insanely good against Egyptian, because what you do with it, or my idea would be, all of these obelisks that Rappel has painstakingly put in, this guy is going to go around and take him out. 5 speed, 22 hack, 3 hitting the obelisks. Just go around, just clean them all up. Don't have to go raid. Just clean up all the obelisks on repeat. And you can just keep the Egyptian player in the dark, which is obviously something that the Egyptian players do not want to be in. Reason is that if they get caught out, their army just sort of fails. Nonetheless, an obelisk coming up for Rappel on this position. More farms coming up over here as well. As the Shenong farms onto this position coming through. Always nice here. One of the big bonuses of doing this with Shenong over what everyone else has to do is that if you get sort of all in on this town center, you can repair without your villagers getting taken out. So it's very tough to win on those ones. As Keto with the micro. I did a little bit of testing on this myself, and these pioneers work so differently. Their animation works so differently from every other ranged counter archer. The Slinger fires almost immediately with probably about 0.6 or 0.5 seconds of cooldown. The Terma fires almost immediately with about a second of cooldown. The Peltast, similar to the Terma. The Pioneer, this bad boy has 1.5 second cooldown, but it fires after like a second. If you take a quick look, boom, after about a second. So you really don't have that far to shoot and scoop with this bad boy. So it's almost better. Not better, but almost better to not shoot and scoop with this bad boy. Almost. Reason is if you screw it up, you lose so much DPS. But then again, just say don't screw it up and it's fine, right? Anyways. Segment now coming through for Rappel as he has decided he's going to be very happily going into a bit of a boomy game here. Oh. The Dojian. I think this is the archer ship. The Dojian coming through. Really. There's no way this is good, right? Look at the Wadjet just absolutely annihilating it. Did he cancel? He canceled the other one. He canceled it. He's like, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to use this puddle and I'm going to use it so smart. I'm going to build and I'm going to be able to hold this location. No. I mean, one of the things that was incredibly frustrating playing on water maps on Legacy was how powerful the archer ships were against... Hold on one second. I gotta be right back. I'm sorry. Where were we? I don't remember. I was talking about the Dojian and archer ships. So there was a point where on Legacy these things... Oh. Anyways, there was a point where on Legacy these things would absolutely clean up an army. So if your opponent had control of the water, it was just kind of over for you unless you could somehow get up a building, right? So the buildings are staying the same. These things have 3x versus ships, so ships don't stand a chance. But yeah, the ships don't really do anything versus the army on the land anymore, which is an interesting change. And yeah. Speaking of interesting changes, what do you guys think about water at the moment? What are your thoughts on changing the way that water works and any sort of ideas? I'm all ears. Personally, I think the water's in a very, very... I think with the recent changes to the old purse scene, I thought that maybe it was a good change, but after all is said and done, I think it was probably a better idea to make water less valuable than more valuable. But anyways, what do you guys think? What would you like to change about water right now? How would you make water fun for the average gamer? Not even just for the top level, just for the average gamer. What would you guys want? What do you guys not like about water? Make yourself heard. I want some more information from the old average Gimity gamer. And this also rings true onto like Age of Empires 2, Age of Empires 4 players out there. If you are out there, do you like the water on those games better than on Myth? I'm very interested to hear. And delete water is not really the solution here. We have a very, very cool design to some degree with all of the units that you've got. You've got archer ship, you've got hammer ship, you've got siege ship, you've got myth unit. So it has potential. You can't just say delete it, but maybe there's like a better way to go about it. What would you guys do? Alrighty. Camel Rider's now out and Rappel is on the case here. Getting some Raider Roonies in. That's the villagers fighting back, but... Whoop. Sniped. Up onto this side, we've got the old Fey Beasts getting dropped down. Rappel says, get me out of here, as he bails over onto this side, saving his slingers and everything else. And finally, the Camel Rider goes down. But both those two Camel Riders got a lot of value there. There's a ballet coming up for Keto. Meanwhile, we've got Axe of Vengeance, Greatest of 50 coming through, Axeman, Catapult, all of the good stuff. And we see a Rain coming through here for the Rappel, as he's got himself a hefty amount of farms down. 18 farms and a dream moving forward in this game. And now the Catapult comes out. And let's see. We've got ourselves a 77% crush armor ballet versus a 200 crush damage dealing Catapult. 2,300 doing 46 damage a shot. You got to get in there and snipe the Chi Wen. There's no real other way around it. As immediately Keto says, lol, I can out repair that. Let me just get to work. Oh, he gets it. And he does it. Look at him go. Chi Wen dealt with. What a useless unit. Not broken at all. Rappel with the godlike plays. As he picks off that archer ship, going to be able to take out the dock as well. Tell you what I reckon. I reckon the Chi Wen should be like an economic boost. Kind of like the Pharaoh or like the Priest. You like empower up a ballet and it trains like, I don't know, 50% faster. Something like that. Rather than boost the old armor. Maybe that's a terrible idea, actually. I don't know. Anyways, we got the old Tao Tie out, having a bit of a fight against a beetle. And these catapult are going to town on it. Look, 80% crush armor. We already did some math before. It was doing about 50 damage at 75% or something like that. So it's going to basically do the same there. As some axes are now charging in for the Rapple, he has seen all of those Dow swords when he says, how do I counter those? Well, counter them with a whole bunch of axemen. As the Avenger Beyblade spinning around here, more units to start piling in onto this position. But take a look down here. Keto says, hey, if Rapple's not going to take this town center, I may as well do so. As the Qinglong comes through here, spitting some water onto the ground. We see the terracotta riders on the way out. As there hasn't been any real adaptation to this Axeman comp, as we've got Blazing Prairie and Tornado getting dropped down. The units of Keto charging in on top of those slingers, but they are very, very low HP here, as the Blazing Prairie does manage to clean up the town center there, with Rapple not able to repair it back up. But the villagers all survive. He's going to be able to put it back up. That's a huge win there for Keto. As the catapults roll forward yet again, we've got the big fat Juan Wu here. There is an interesting idea with which I don't think we've seen it just yet from the side of... Wait, does he have it? No, he doesn't have it. With the side of Shenong. This upgrade here is pretty insane. We're going to just take a quick look to read it. Targets have been moved or involved in combat, healed at 50% speed, right? Distributed heal. Targets... Wait, hold on. Affects up to 3 additional targets within 10 meters. So this guy is healing at 7.5 health a second, divided by 2. So like your 3.75 or whatever. I don't know. I can't do math. HP a second on 3 targets. If I get myself out, like 3 sages, get that tech, all of a sudden my entire army is basically getting the effect of, I want to say 3 healing springs, but it's moving. That's kind of insane, though. But what I'm afraid of is when you got a tech that insane, but people just haven't quite worked it out yet. Developers look at the stats and go, okay, how many times has this technology been researched? Oh, it's still not getting researched, better buff it again. And then people will use it and it's just going to be absolutely insane. But it already is really good. I recommend giving it a go. Get yourself that tech. Build yourself some sages, add them in, profit off of the HP gain. For those of you out there thinking about taking up any sort of economics in your life, if a unit has got 163 HP and is worth 85 resources, each one of those HP is going to be worth some amount of resources, right? No? Anyways. We do have that big fat Qinglong coming back in here, getting some big damage. You've got the old lightning weapons to come through as well, as Rapple needs to pull back for the time being here. You have to also remember that we didn't see Huang Di here for Keto. So these Dao swordsmen aren't going to be as strong as normal. But the fire archers, once that tech comes through for them, which it is through actually, he's already got it. Yep. It doesn't show up in this thing that it does fire damage though. I mean, it's kind of obvious when you look at him, but Anyways. Whoop. Look at him go. Look at him go. Oh! Look, I'm a fan of AoE damage. I don't care what anyone else says. What do you guys reckon? How sick was that? Let's go, Shenong's hero. The Dao Swordsman breaking through those slingers on the back. What can Rappel do now as the axe cart rolls in to try and take down the town center? Does the dragon put out the fire? True. I think it does. As the Qinglong comes through, does it have its ability? Yes, it does. Drops it straight on top of the villagers. But gonna have to hit them a couple of times to actually take them out. It does a hefty amount of damage still. 35 pierce plus 10 divine damage. So, not like maybe 2 or 3 to kill off those villagers, I guess. Nonetheless, Slinger's retreating back away from this bad boy. There's more Dao Swordsmen coming through onto the bottom side. We have seen that Rappel's managed to clean up this town center of Keto. Keto didn't manage to defend it quite well enough. Does have himself the Chi one over here, making those Tiger Cavalry. If you get out enough of those, it can be very, very scary. Now, I've heard that these guys, these Tiger Cavalry, aren't that good unless you get some technologies with them. We're about to see exactly how good they are. They don't currently have any upgrades, but I'm very interested to watch this. As these Tiger Cavalry are coming over here, you have to also remember that Rappel does have himself access to Horus Spearmen, so there's a very, very hard counter to these cavalry for Rappel in this game. As Rappel continuing to dart in and out of this position beautifully. Look, I'm a fan of AoE damage when it's done in a small area. When the damage is this big with the water dragon, like this big, all of a sudden you go, hang on, that's not area of effect damage. That's like god power damage, right? Isn't that? That's nuclear damage. Exactly. That's like you threw a nuke down, except it's a water bomb. Anyways, stop distracting me. We're watching Age of Mythology game. Now Rappel going to attempt yet again to take out the old Keto town center over here. Oh, Wenzong back in. Another Fey Beasts. The combo of Wenzong plus Fey Beasts is in. And Rappel's army melts. Oof, that's gotta hurt. Now, Rappel down to 135 population. Not a whole lot of gold left in the bank. That was kind of brutal. Rappel needs some like different... I think he needs some different types of units here. He's still making Axemen. Now he's making his Spearmen. Does he have the upgrades? Yes, he does. He's got all the upgrades for his Spearmen. But with what Keto's doing, he's got himself Tiger Cav. He's got himself Dao Swords. He's got himself Fire Archers. It's a healthy mix of everything. And generally what you want against a healthy mix of everything is just one unit that's just really strong to break through it all. Whether that be the Chariot Archer, or that be the Camel Rider, or the Spearman here. Lots of different good options, and with the Spearman coming through, I'm sure Rappel's going to be getting himself the upgrades as he manages to push Keto back again. And the Beyblades on the spin, yet again, trying to take out those Dao Swordsmen and everything else. Oh, and we do see a little bit of a moo-moo there. As Wenzong, this guy stays alive for quite a while. Look at him. He's still alive. He did a whole spin and a whole, like, 10 seconds of idle time. Convict, thanks for the 9 months, my friend. Appreciate you. But the game, still in the balance. We are seeing some markets coming up on the top corner as Rappel also doing the same. He doesn't have access to this side just yet, and the town center is actually coming back up. He can't deal with this heavy target cavalry shenanigans. Doing a fantastic job of just controlling the map. If you take a quick look at it and you just say, hang on, the map is about 70% Ketos and 30% Raffles at the moment. There's the siege tower coming through. And those fire archers setting a blaze to the siege tower. It does kind of have a pretty sick death cycle. It's the Tiger Cav in onto this backline, taking down these Deuterinos all over the place. And the catapults after Keto's town center as well here. Keto can build farms for 10 wood. Did he get the tech? He did. How much do they cost? They cost 15 wood, excuse you. 15 wood. It's kind of sick though. Like you'd think that like a really good strat for Shenhong would be like an invisibility fast mythic. You build like 4 farms or something on everything important, on your like gold and on your food. And you just rush that mythic age. Just, look at where Zhong go! Or is this Zhong? When Zhong! Absolutely owning the beast. He's got 71% pierce armor as well. This guy means business. Holy, this guy's actually kind of busted. I don't mean to like throw words around, but he's obviously not John Wick, but who's the other guy in John Wick? Who's the other guy? Help me out. No one wants to help me out? No, I have to look it up. No, I'm not gonna look it up. The shark. No. In the movie John Wick, there's like John Wick and there's the blind guy. He's kind of like the blind guy, no? Willem Dafoe? No, you got that's the act. Anyways, Rappel out trying to put the town center up, and the Qinglong saying, no, excuse you, please remove thyself from these lands. As the catapults yet again going after Keto's town center on this side. Some vintage side build action going on. Chuck Norris is like son of, no, Chuck Norris is like Osiris, not son of Osiris, Osiris. Kane. That's right. There we go. Kane. Kane has a cane. He's the blind guy with a cane and his cane. Yeah, he's Kane. Look, he's literally using his cane right now. Look at him. That thing there, he's got 2 canes. See? Oh, the villagers. The villagers. Well, one does not simply stop the wrath of Wen Zhong, as we've got the old, or should I say Kane, the double Kane. Lightning weapons coming in yet again. There's really not that many units here, however, for Keto. He does not have enough here to support all of his shenanigans. And as much as you guys might be saying, holy moly, Kane OP, what I'm seeing here is Rappel consistently staying at full population, consistently keeping Keto at bay with his powerhouse Horus Star shenanigans. These barracks units are hitting incredibly powerfully as the settlement now coming up for Keto. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. Rappel says, no, stop it, please. No, he's not going to be able to stop it as that town center comes back up yet again here. Oh, there was a catapult, however. Get some serious damage done. I don't think Rappel has got himself that upgrade. No, he does have the upgrade. Oh, and his siege is cheaper as well. Not cheaper. He's got the Architect's Ledger. Archimedes Ledger, excuse me. One less population. This villagers coming forward, trying to put a stop to this shenanigans here. Wenzhong, back from the dead, wanting to get in. Enjoying all the nice things here as the Terracotta Riders riding, causing problems. And Rappel says, I gotta retreat. Can't deal with this shenanigans for too much longer. As the laborers trying to get the last remnants of this gold mine. The trade route, however, looking pretty nice for both players here. As Akito still managing to hold 3-2 towns, and he hasn't got this one back, but this entirety of this forward base here looks like it's going over to the Rappel. And Rappel also going to be able to grab the last 1,000 gold here as well is a really big deal. Hasn't finished off the mining camp, however, so we'll see if he's going to notice that. A couple of chariot archers on this spot. Will take a long time to take out those champion Dao swordsmen, so they don't have any upgrades. Let's back up onto this time. We've got the Zhu Q coming in, cleaning up units. The secret to beating this unit is that the whirlwind, you just have to run out of it. Just move back or move forward or whatever. It's now the gold mine to get grabbed for Rappel. He is struggling for resources and villages. He's down to 57, 56 villages. He's still losing them. Keto has killed so many villagers in this game. Rappel isn't building them anymore. He's got himself 17 villagers on food right now. That's not enough. Not nearly enough. He needs somewhere in the vicinity of 30 villagers on food at the moment, most likely. And Wenzhong is back in to kill even more villagers. Rappel notices it for this moment here. He's going to move back into the corner of the map. There's more catapult coming out to help out onto this position. Oh, and the Chi Wen is back again, and it says, not today, Sonny Jim. We're keeping this bad boy alive for the foreseeable future. As Keto gets himself back out to Qinglong. The Wenzhong still causing problems. Now hiding underneath that Citadel Center, attempting to hold on here. Now Rappel gets himself back to town center here. He can grab all these farms if he wants to. Oh, never mind. Good play there from Keto. He says, get those out of here. Rappel too slow on the steals there. It's now both players struggling for population. 160 to 160. The market is getting empowered, but only by the priest for the moment. Holding this little position up as well. There is a little option for Keto to sneak in here and put some buildings up, but he doesn't have the resources for it. Well, he does have the wood now. Does he want to spend that all on fire archers or what? That's the question. But immediately, look at this guy. 150 food, 150 wood, 200 gold. 500 resources total, 8 favor. He is expensive. Compare him over to the Greek 4th age hero. Polyphemus, 400 gold, 6 favor from memory. Same for Bellerophon and Perseus. So it is costing more. Oh, and another Citadel to come through for Rappel as he's trying to push his population through the roof here, which is a problem for Keto. Keto has no way of artificially increasing his population in this game. All he's got is the ability to make himself an incredibly pop-effective army composition. Very resource heavy, but pop-effective in Tiger Cav, which are really, really worth it for the pop. Probably also those Fire Archers are really, really good as well. The Hundun, obviously an insanely good myth unit, as we do have a cheeky little raid coming up onto these trade caravans, but the Spearmen for Rappel notice it in an instant, sends them up here to deal with this. However, the Fey Beast gets dropped down, and he's just going to be hanging out here, killing a huge amount of those camel caravans. We do have the heavy Lo Chuan here as well. Trying to take down these Migdol strongholds and everything else. But all of the Fey Beasts have been dealt with. Is Rappel going to be going into these garrison micro shenanigans here? He does creep back up to 72 villages after all is said and done. He can make, that's right, he could make the old caravans. The, where is his market at? Yeah. He could make these bad boys. These guys are pop efficient. They give you food, wood, and gold. So you don't need as many villages. Not sure exactly if they're quite worth a citadel or three. But still. Keto looking like he's almost able to overpower on this position, but where's Rappel's army at? I mean, I imagine it's all here. Rappel does have 7.3k in military value at the moment. Resource value. Can't really do anything with this pop here because whatever's happened, happened. AOM Ice asks, what streaming app do I use? I use OBS! The Citadel Center getting very close to going down here. 900 resources or HP and a dream. There's a couple of villagers to come over and try and repair it back up. Good awareness from the Rappel. He's still sitting at full pop here. Those slingers, kind of useless to be honest. He needs axemen, and badly. He's got his Leviathan over here. Oops. Wenzhong after the trade route, getting some big damage done onto all these trade caravans. Idling a ton of them here. Mini Yeti says the Citadel is 125 favor at the moment. Picture is 5 favor. You can make 25 caravans for the same price. I'll take the sherbet out of it. But how much are they worth? Like, if I have one picture, how much is that worth population-wise? Civilian population-wise? Is it worth 1 extra? Is it like, are you gathering 1 food a second or 0.5 food a second, 0.5 wood a second with the upgrades? I actually don't know. I haven't done any of the math. Like, how much are you exactly earning from them? There's obviously something, but how much per second? Nonetheless, the slingers getting pushed back. The Dow swordsman coming through. Rappel now starting to build himself some infantry out as he retreats back through the old citadel. You also have to look at this. These guys get a huge boost in armor before they, for a while there, before they fall. As he gets onto those slingers. Look at the damage onto the slingers. They get annihilated there. But they do manage to take out the big flying phoenix there before any of them actually end up falling. As Rappel and Keto just continue to butt heads on this Citadel center. Keto needs to find a different place to attack to some degree. Right through the center of the map makes a lot of sense for me. Right in onto this middle town center here. Take down all the barracks. And you're good to go. That being said, if you move over there, then maybe your town center is going to be under threat. Which is going to be a little bit of a tricky one. They bring back 80 gold per trip. You get 16 food and wood. If they bring back 80 food, they bring 16 food. So the question is, how long does it take for the caravan to get to the town center and back again? My guess would be that's probably a minute of travel time, right? And that's when they're max efficiency. So 16 food a minute. Divide that by, what is it, 60 for the seconds? I can't do that math. That's too hard, but I think it's not quite going to be a population per picture. Another Fey Beasts. The Fey Beasts champion Tiger Cavalry raids are going at it. .26 resources per... So each picture is worth 1.26. Each picture is worth 1.26 population. Each one of them. 1.26. So for every 4 you build, that's worth 1 extra population. So it's probably comparable to the Citadel. That's pretty close, no? It would be 4 times 10, 40 picture equals 1 Citadel. But that's if my 1 minute is correct. I don't know if my 1 minute is correct on the travel time. Oh, he's building them. Look at him go. Look at him go. Do they move faster? Does he have the tech? Or he doesn't have the tech? No? Well, he doesn't have that. The other tech. He's missing this tech. Oh, per rest. So, 0.53 total. True. Okay, so the math is all wrong. So they're 1.53 if it takes a minute for them to get to the market and back, which I think they probably do. We'll do that test another day. Tower's now coming up, however, for Keto. As the heavy siege crossbows going to be taking down the Citadel Center. All of the good stuff coming in. More towers to come through. Rappel desperately trying to break in. He's now going to be pre-queuing that Signature of the Titans. Both players are. But the resource is not in. 47 villages on wood. It's nearly 7,000 wood in the bank here for the Rappel. Just proxy farms so he can build the towers around the farm on the front and not get killed. That's kind of hilarious. I love that. But slowly but surely here, it's looking like while Rappel kind of got his map control back, Keto is managing to push back. He's getting closer and closer to taking out the Citadel Center. The villagers stop working whenever they hit 0 gold. And it looks like he's actually deleted his markets, moved them over onto this corner. No Pharaoh empowering for the time being. Still actually just empowering his... He's still just empowering this monument. No! At least empower the monument to the Pharaohs. Ah! Mini Yeti says, my point is that it's super hard to keep up 255 pop on constant fight, whereas picture you're already flooding. You're always flooding floating resources. You can be max pop, choke the new plus target gap. I think the same thing is relevant with the town center though, right? Like if you've got an extra 10 pop and you just put it into villages, you're getting more pop, more resources. No, you just 160 population of villages and caravans, and then you get 3 citadels. I think it's close. I think it's close on purpose. I reckon the devs thought about this to some degree. Crazy, right? The devs thinking. They're not allowed to think. They just do. Nonetheless, burning pitch now coming through. Those fire archers are going to start hitting hard. They are expensive as well. It's not like it's just a favor you're paying for. That's 200. They have to work for, what was it? 0.56 a second. They have to work. They probably have to work for a minute or more. Wait. 3 minutes? 3 minutes and a bit? 6 minutes? 3 minutes and a bit? I don't know. I can't do that. 6 minutes? How long to pay themselves off with just those resources? Someone do me that math as well. I can't do that. Axe cart's coming in. Citadel Center is basically at full HP, however. As Keto is trying to fight his way through here, but what else is Rappel doing? The thing is, Rappel's trade route is just getting annihilated non-stop. And he doesn't have the production, for one, to reproduce it. And two, he doesn't have the food income to reproduce it. Plus, it's just dying constantly. And he's not empowering it in the corner. And it looks to me like Keto might be running away with this game for the sheer fact that he has managed to inflict such pain onto this trade route of Rappel. Rappel is sitting at 180 pop, slowly getting pushed back. Citadel Center now down at the 47th minute mark. The Titan most likely going to be coming through soon. In fact, you could probably buy the wood right now and have that Titan gate coming in 1 minute. Grabbing the town center on the front. Or you can shank down the farm to get himself some gold. Wait, does he get gold for this? No, he gets wood. He gets wood, not gold? Really? Yeah, that's definitely wood. Anyways, Kiddo's town center now going to be going up. He's going to be having himself 4 town centers, plus all these units in queue. He's still very far away from his 260 population, but can he convert at the moment or not is the question. The Xinglong still causing problems to this trade route. Rappel, 33 trade caravans for the time being. Still struggling for food. Can't really produce the axemen or spearmen that he needs. That's why he's got all these slingers, despite Keto building 0 archers at the moment. The resources per building are fixed and aren't changed by stuff like culture changes. Really? Didn't know that. There you go. The more you know. And in the end there, Rappel's trade route, 2 destroyed, and Keto he's just too good at these types of games. Keto, like every time I watch him playing these types of games, it's just like, he's just too good at it. I don't know what it is. He grabs corners beautifully. He applies pressure in the right places. He defends beautifully with walls and secures map control. And he just never gives it back. And I feel like you have to play out of your mind to find the advantages against this guy when it gets to this point in the game. And he shows Rappel here that he means some business if you let him get there. But a really well played game by both. Very, very close, but in the end, like unit killed loss heavily in favor of the Rappel. But Keto, let me take a quick look at this resource graph. That was everything. Let's take a look at this civilian graph as well. You can see there wasn't a moment in this game, with the exception of here, where Keto was behind in villager count. And as soon as this drops, it's all over. Like Rappel had like, I don't know, 5 minutes or 5-ish minutes of more villagers. Actually, take a look at this. What happens here? 4105. 4105. Kind of looks like he sort of catches up before the graph goes away, but then they're sort of expanding at the same time. Anyways, a well-played game here by both. If you guys enjoyed this one, please continue to follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next game.